Good evening, everyone, and welcome back on this beautiful Sunday to D&V Investigations, where we have a little less deep, but a whole lot of fucking balls. Hello, how are you tonight? Oh, boy. As you all know, I am Vicky, your host for this evening. God, it's so weird to have to introduce yourself when I think just about everybody knows who I am. And hello, Colonel Morg. It's nice to have our producer in the house. Good evening, Glenn, and your nuts as well. Okay. Hi, Glenn. How's it doing? Yeah. I need a better deal for a co-host than half the rev and doing no prep. Yeah. Good evening, Will. Hello, everybody. Hi. Hey, Edwin. What a weird week. And I'm not even talking about Comicsgate, because that just sort of rolled along the same way it always does, but with very little happening. At least I didn't see much happening, because I tell you, I can't watch these streams anymore, man. I'm gonna be talking about Ben Dunn and two videos that he made, and one that was EFAP by Ethan, but I am going to admit to every single one of you, I didn't watch Ethan's stream. I had absolutely no interest in listening to Ethan say the same bullshit, utter the same responses, make the same damn excuses, be as misleading as he always is. I just couldn't do it. And I was far more interested in what Ben had to say than Ethan, because I know what Ethan was going to say. What else? Oh, last week I forgot the John Malin sweeping for Rob Liefeld video. I'm going to start off with that one, just because it circles back pretty well to the very end of this evening, where thanks to Geeky Borders, I really appreciate them watching all these streams so I don't have to. I got a great clip. The clip that was on Twitter didn't have a whole lot of context aside from them trying to get Anna on the Jack show to jiggle her tits. And I got about 5 minutes of it surrounding all of that. And let me tell you people, it's shameful. Like, it's shameful. All of it. I was just like, it was worse than that little tiny clip that was on Twitter. And I don't know how in the heck they managed that one. It's bad. It's really, really bad. I've got a clip to, there's going to be some history lessons along the way. We're going to give some actual information about what was going on in relation to Ben Dunn's videos back in the day. And also Grift did a video, a response to Liam. I am wholly uninterested in what Liam was saying, but Grift's response was something else. And it had just a nice touch of revisionist history that we're going to clear up, or I'm going to attempt to clear up. Shigama Matthew Fowler, nice to see you. Yeah. Oh man, I don't know why Fowler made me think of this. I don't. But did any of you see that fake butter on Twitter? I guess I can't remember if it was Gates or Bezos. I don't know, but it's this industrial park. And it just looks like an ordinary industrial park. But inside, they're making butter without cows. They take the carbon and they mix it with the hydrogen and they make fat. And then they add artificial flavors to it. And it's supposed to taste like butter. They took one of the best foods in the whole freaking world and they're trying to kill it for you. Do not eat anything that is made with industrial byproduct, because that's what the carbon is. That's what the hydrogen is. And they're talking about all this like I greenhouse shit that they're going to save by doing it this way, but they're not taking into account the energy it took to actually put the goddamn carbon in the canisters or the hydrogen in the canisters or whatever it took for them to mix up the artificial shit and all the machinery that they have, just everything along the production chain, from moving those canisters from wherever they were loaded down to this fucking industrial park. From the industrial park consuming energy from where? Oh yeah, our energy grid, which still gets most of its power from what? Oh yeah, petroleum products. It's horrifying. I am not going to eat the fake butter, and I'm not going to eat bugs. I've tried bugs a long time ago in a foreign fucking country where eating bugs is kind of normal, and I'm not going to do it voluntarily. Butter's good for you, damn it. Anyway, I know. Yeah, rant over, I guess. I was just so boggled by that. This world they want us to live in with AI doing everything for us. Like every time I see someone immediately asking Grok if something is true when they can just as easily open Google on their fucking phones and look for themselves, I immediately block or mute. Screw those people. Needing Grok to tell you shit you should be able to look up, or even worse, know. Yes, butter is good for you, El de Gusto. I know. It's got fatty acids and it's got A and D and B12 and K2 and like it's just good for you. And it comes from cows. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into this John Malin thing that I forgot from last week. I kind of apologize for that. It was in the thumbnail and everything. But like I said, it circles around to the Anna shit at the end.
The main thing I want to discuss tonight is John Malin versus Eric Nienoltowski. This is very interesting. There's a whole Rob Liefeld thing brewing, yeah, like John Malin put his 2 cents in, and once again, like I gotta say, like John Malin is right. Like I have my instinctive response to things, but really, like what I love about John Malin is John has a very moral sort of set of sensibilities, and when he weighs in on a subject, it's interesting. I probably want to talk about that one first.
I want you all to remember that bit. That bit is very important. That John Malin has a really strong sense of morals. Hello, Michael Bancroft. Nice to see you.
Like this.
But what, John? Your thoughts on the Rob Liefeld cover thing on X-Ray now? Rob Liefeld cover thing?
Oh, good.
Oh, is that the Eric Ninotowski Rob Liefeld cover thing? Rob Liefeld continues being a jerk. Okay, so here's all I know about the... I saw a couple of these tweets. And what I think happened is Eric Ninotowski won some kind of art contest on a Facebook page. On, I think, one of Rob's fan pages. So Eric Ninotowski won this contest, which I believe awarded a cover for Youngblood. And let me see if I can pull this up. We'll do this a little bit more justice here. We'll try to do justice on something we have no fucking clue about.
I forgot about this guy, Eric Ninotowski. I get him confused with a few other guys who kind of draw like Jim Lee.
All right, I guess we'll start here. All right, Eric Ninotowski, he's a CG'er as well, just, for full context, whatever. Well, any hopes of having my art on Youngblood cover have been destroyed. Rob is apparently reneged and isn't keeping his word. Disappointed to say the least. I'm gonna have it colored though, and show him what he's missing. Okay. So, guys, everyone wants to vilify Rob. How dare he talk to Rob directly? No, it's like, why are you bugging him?
Yeah.
Like he said, you're going to be on a cover this year.
So Rob's response. So Eric Ninotowski writes to Rob after winning a contest. He goes, Rob Liefeld, will my winning art for the art contest be a part of that batch as well? Super excited to hear when that will dawn a Youngblood cover. Thanks, counting the hours. Now, here's the thing. There's something about the way that's written that gets on my nerves. Because that's kind of the way John's Dongbox used to write to me. Like, there's something about it that's like real hyper aggressive, and it's, you know what it is? It's just having dealt with people for a long time. Like when John's Dongbox would hit me with that kind of fake enthusiasm, like it did annoy me.
Rob is a little bit delicate when it comes to these dramas. You know what I mean?
Oh, guys, welcome back. Peter A. DeLuca here, your favorite. Let's scoot up. Let's get a little closer. Your favorite comic book commentator / historian. Here we go. The internet is shocked because they got reminded, because they were caught slipping, of how awful of a character Rob Liefeld really is. People ignore the observation that so few of his Extreme Studio members actually stayed in comics. Other comic book studios of the time didn't quite do that. Wildstorm Productions, so many of the Wildstorm guys stayed within comics. Isn't that a wild observation? What does that tell you about what type of boss Rob Liefeld is and was?
Yeah, he totally does have word nerd vibes. He does.
Rob Liefeld makes a promise. He says, and I'm not talking about his Brigade crowdfunder, yet I believe unfulfilled. He makes a promise, runs a contest, the winner gets a Youngblood cover, and the winner some legit work, just, tweets them. Question, hey, when will my artwork be used? Asking for a friend. And Rob Liefeld says no. He says no. A little bit of pushback. Rob Liefeld, further reveals himself. And then, the tweet goes viral on comic book Twitter. Goes viral enough to where now everyone is dogpiling, giving their opinion, and pretending like they're shocked that Rob Liefeld is a POS.
Rob said you would be on a Youngblood cover sometime this year. That's all you get. That's it. That's all you get. You don't get more of his time. He answered you. He answered you. What do you want? What do you want? Look, if I win a contest, I'm not sitting there, hey, Rob, when does my cover go on? Guys, just get out of the way.
The only time Malin wins a contest is when it's rigged.
Get out of the way. Let Rob do his thing.
And in my view, Rob Liefeld even derailed the career of Mark Poulton, who should have been embedded in mainstream comics thanks to Rob Liefeld. But no, everyone is pretending like they're shocked about this. Do you guys remember Rob Liefeld derailing Fragaboom when Fragaboom saw a sinking ship and he went to DC with pages and Rob Liefeld, well, cock-blocked him. Now later, years later, Fragaboom was able to get into Marvel, but Fragaboom should have worked for Marvel post Heroes Reborn, like immediately after, or during. Because Fragaboom, he saw what was coming.
What's happening, Shane?
What's going on? Watching you defend Rob.
Oh, yeah. Poor Rob, dude. People are always trying to be.
I like how John says it like, oh yeah, of course that's what I'm doing, man. Of course. Yeah. Why would I do anything else?
Beat up on Rob. Get some clout. Say something nice about Rob now, Shane.
I can't. I don't know. But yeah. No, he's a nice guy. It's just, I don't know if
Look,
Rob,
he's three dimensions, guys. He can be one of the greatest people you ever talk to. He can also be prickly, and he's definitely oversensitive towards criticism. But I try to tell people, put that in context. This is a dude that has been shit on by the entire fucking industry since 1992, when he became the youngest, one of the most successful people in the comic book industry, when all these other old guard were working their butts off and weren't getting the kind of attention young Rob Liefeld was getting. Did a taco get thrown at John? No. But Rob did tell me once, he's like, look, man, he was more rambunctious in his early days, which was crazy because, probably 10 years. Yeah, I'm probably hanging out with him 10 years after Image founded. So when he was getting in taco fights with alleged taco fights with Dan Fraga.
I don't have a whole lot to add to it. I just wanted to put it out there. Man, it's just so much. Just so freaking much. One, that this is just so... I guess everybody had covered Ethan, EFAP, John. Somebody in the chat said Well-Read was talking about it. Everybody probably EFAP'd Ethan EFAPing. But I found that other video and I wanted to sort of put it all into context. And it sort of explains a bit of the animosity John has always displayed towards Dan Fraga, though. At least in my opinion. Your mileage may vary, but I kind of think it does. So, and then, oh gosh, what was I going to do next? Oh, next I was going to talk about the Ben Dunn videos. And like I said, I did not watch Ethan's because fuck that, man. I just can't. I could not do it this week. I didn't edit or look at a single piece of anything with Ethan on it, and it was so enjoyable. I felt so lucky. So here we go.
This is Ben Dunn, your AP Sensei, returning from Bell County Comic Con this past weekend. The weekend of, today is August 4th, so it would have been the 2nd and 3rd over the weekend. It was really, really fun. Bell County is a comic book convention held in Temple, Texas, which is in the halfway point between Austin and Dallas. So this year, I had a lot of fun. It seemed like the audience, the attendees of the convention was far larger than last year. And we did quite a bit better. Anarchist was set up. They invite us to set up there, and we appreciate it. We thank them for putting up with us and giving us a spot on their esteemed convention floor. And I talked to a lot of fans. And
So, Bell County Comic Con is put on by the gentleman that owns Iconic Comics. No, despite what people still try to make everybody believe, that is not Tim Lim, Doug Ernst, or Mark Pellegrini. And for some, Eric Kennedy came in late, so obviously he's not the one that owns it. They own Bell County and another. They run another con in Texas. I believe it's an anime con. This year, Bell County Comic Con had 40,000 attendees. So it's actually one of the largest cons now in Texas, according to a news report that I saw.
We were set up next to Eric July's Rippaverse. Now, I've been following the antics of the Rippaverse and their beef with Comicsgate. And I've come to a conclusion. What is that conclusion? Well, I believe, and this is strictly my opinion, but I think I have some evidence to back it up. Because, I've been around the block a few times. Anarchist Press has been around since 1985, and that's 40 years of consistently publishing comics over that time. And I've seen a lot of changes. Some good, some ill. I believe that Eric July's Rippaverse will be successful and Comicsgate will ultimately fail. And
I just want to say that a part of what probably really angered Ethan too is this video was sort of the trifecta, right? So you had Ben Dunn praising, or at least, praising Eric July, kind of, shitting ever so politely on Comicsgate. But the video starts with mention of something connected to the Bunny Man.
You get a chance to actually meet Eric July at the convention, so I'm not going to be biased in my assessment of this, opinion. The thing is that he was genuine, and very friendly, very nice guy. He seemed, to really be enthusiastic about what he's doing. Now, I could see from our vantage point that every time he showed up at his table, he would attract a huge throng of people. He is the driving force behind that company. I've also been following the antics of quote-unquote Comicsgate, because, I was at the ground floor of Comicsgate. I was at the birth of that whole movement. We, Anarchist Press, was going to publish Jawbreakers, Richard C. Myers' comic. And we were bullied by other people in the industry to not publish it. And we unfortunately relented. I personally did not want to do that, but I was overruled by the remaining editorial staff, so we ultimately canceled the book. That led to Richard C. Meyer having a huge success, on Indiegogo.
If it wasn't for Antarctic Press deciding to not publish Simple Zach, otherwise known as Richard C. Meyer, there would be no Comicsgate today. Think about that. There would be no Comicsgate. there would have been no rallying point. No comics would have been sold off of the cancellation of Richard C. Meyer, and we're fighting back against the SJWs. That was a quote, not me saying I was fighting back against the SJWs. But yeah. Ben Dunn is one of the reasons that there actually is a Comicsgate.
That led to the so-called movement, the Comicsgate movement, that's being headed by our self-professed leader of Ethan Van Sciver. What I consider and this could be his online persona. He could be the nicest, sweetest guy in the world, and I know no doubt that he probably is, but
I have my doubts. I do. I'm sorry to say, Ben, I must disagree, but I have my doubts about him being pleasant in person.
His online persona is what I consider very bombastic, over the top, and very confrontational. And I don't believe in the long term that's going to help him, in terms of maintaining that momentum.
And it's been true. That's the thing. I don't know how much attention Ben has paid to Comicsgate in the last year or so. I mean, after all, it is just trash cast after trash cast after fucking trash cast. And really, there are very few people that can continue to stick with that. But it's been happening. Ethan's attitude, the attitude of the other CG Kings, and I'm not talking about the ones that are actually on the CG King show with Ethan. I'm talking about Shane and John and Ethan, because those whenever Ethan talks about who is CG and who is the Kings, it's always those three. Always those three. Right? And they're horrible people. And they sit there on the streams and they say horrible things about people. And they do horrible things. There's very little positivity coming out of that marketing side. So Ben's totally correct. Yeah. You've got Eric who's steadily selling books. And hey, I will admit, I am surprised. I was wrong. I was completely and totally wrong about the longevity and the apparent success of Rippaverse. Now, it's still early, and most businesses collapse within like the first 5 years or something. So anything can happen, any sort of overextension. But whatever direction he was heading in, because it was looking bad right there at the beginning, he self-corrected and everything seems to be chugging along quite well. Comicsgate, on the other hand, is not making as much money, right? And you can only sell to the drama crowd for so long before they peel off. And I don't see Comicsgate reaching out to new audiences. If you drew a Venn diagram, say, of Shane and Mandy and Malin's YouTube audiences, all four of those circles would be inside the circle of Ethan's audience. They don't have any audience outside, and there's nothing on the horizon that will grow that could possibly be seen as reaching out beyond the confines of this, I don't know, little settlement on the corner of indie comics. The one with the barbed wire fence and the, with the electricity shooting through it and the dogs on patrol around the perimeter. I do remember when Stu was pissing EJ off with pictures of the warehouse and the poster stacks in the early Rippaverse days. Those are fun. Yeah, right? I've seen a few issues, but overall, Kane and White Cap's doing a pretty good job. There are still some editorial issues that I see. I would definitely hire a different editor over there at Rippaverse. That's just me, though. Maybe an additional editor. Maybe that's the real problem, is they don't have enough people reading the books. Who knows? But then, of course, after Ben did this video, Ethan, of course, had to EFAP it. I am not playing the video. I just got a screenshot of it because I wanted to put the stream up on the screen. And why is George DMing me during the stream? Can anybody explain that, George? Oh, he's probably not even watching. Boy. All right. So here's Ben Dunn's second video. I tried to keep this one kind of short. There's a lot of talk at the end that I cut out, but I'll explain what some of that is in a minute.
So, I got quite a bit of reaction from my last video comparing why I think Rippaverse is going to outlast Comicsgate. And some people may come under the impression that I dislike Comicsgate. No, I don't. Nothing can be further from the truth. I don't dislike Comicsgate. I don't like anybody. I mean, to be honest, the comic industry needs more people who are willing to take chances and to create comics. What I was trying to allude to was that the Comicsgate model as a business model is extremely flawed, and I'll tell you why. The difference is that Comicsgate is a movement. Originally, and people have said this, is that it was a consumer movement. Richard C. Myers seemed to reflect the feelings of a lot of old-time readers and collectors, and that we were very much against what they were doing. But the thing was, he also created a lot of enemies, is a word I'm thinking of. A lot of detractors, a lot of people who didn't like his style of criticizing the output of the big two.
Cum dumpster. He called Heather Antos a cum dumpster. He was purposefully combative. He spent all day, every day, fighting with people on Twitter. It's why he doesn't have a Twitter account that is public now. I would not be surprised, to tell you the God's honest truth, I would not be surprised if any number of those hardcore CG Kool-Aid drinkers, or the people you see fighting with Gail Simone, the ones that just argue, he's probably arguing with goddamn Gary Nerdrotic or whatever, right? I'm sure he's still on freaking Twitter arguing with someone. Somewhere at some point, I think Ethan had shared one of your boy Zach's sock accounts during a stream. Yeah.
So when we announced that we were going to do Jawbreakers, we thought we were going to have a lot of support for it. Nothing could have been further from the truth. Almost immediately, Anarchic Press, and specifically, the owner, my brother Joe, and was inundated with huge amounts of negative and hateful responses. And we hadn't, my brother had not realized, what kind of, I loathe this word, but it seems to fit the toxicity of what Richard C. Meyer had created in the comic book community.
Like I said, cum dumpster. It's very difficult, I think, for people now to imagine what it was like back then, because the outside engagement with Comicsgate has died pretty much. It doesn't extend much further than maybe the Rippaverse now, the occasional snipe at geeks and gamers, but it's very self-contained. When Comicsgate first started, the pushback was pointed outwards and not inwards. It was pointed towards the mainstream pros on Twitter that actually engaged with Comicsgate. I know it's crazy now because there's very few of them that do. And believe it or not, it all goes back to Billy Tucci. It's Billy Tucci's fault. Yeah. When he declared that Darwin Cook would be Comicsgate and then Ethan took it and ran with it, that's when most of the mainstream pros disengaged. After they all defended Marsha, they just said, oh, fuck this shit. He's not even worth our goddamn time. And it slowed the growth of Comicsgate. And then because there was nobody outside of Comicsgate to go after, they started going after people inside of Comicsgate. So, just saying.
The term Comicsgate, I think, was used, initially as a way to label what had happened to Jawbreakers and Richard C. Myers. And, it's actually, some people say it started with the Milkshake Girl photo. That probably was the genesis of the movement, but it certainly didn't create anything to the likes of what we see now. It's just a label to attach to a project in order to get the audience that supports Comicsgate. Now, it's a sizable audience. It's not tremendously big. I will say that, just off the top of my head, based on sales I've seen, there's probably no more than maybe 4,000 people who are diehard, staunch Comicsgater. But that's a large amount of people, that can make a big difference on a campaign.
It's not that many, actually. It's probably closer to 1,000 diehard Comicsgaters. I know. Ethan sits there. They say, oh, we have this many backers, but people double back all the time. And based just, it could be even smaller, but I think Ethan's backing audience tends to not be as big as large a portion of his YouTube audience as it used to be. When he launched Cyberfrog Blood Honey, he converted about 8% of his YouTube subs into backers. Now, of course, there were some double backing and it was a little harder to tell, but double backing wasn't as big of a thing back then. It just wasn't. And so now, if he has about 1,000 backers, but he's only getting, like, his view counts are pretty low. They're only about 1.1, 1.2K. Yeah, the Comicsgate is shrinking. It's just shrinking.
Some say the magic number for a campaign is 1,000 people, 1,000 backers. If you get 1,000 backers and you keep 1,000 backers forever, you can go on for a very long time. And I'm not sure if that number is accurate, but I think that's what I've heard. And I've done the calculation. It looks like if you get 1,000 backers, you're going to do pretty well. Comicsgate, you have 5, 6, 7 different creators who all have their own little kingdoms, and they all go to various different printers, different things. Imagine how much they could save if they could just all gang print together at one printer, or combine their resources so that they all could thrive. But it's not that way, because who makes the decision on who does what is something that Comicsgate can't tolerate, because every single one has their own agenda, and that is where the weakness lies.
I've always said that Comicsgate's diversity was its weakness. Right? All these creators who you quote band together, you help promote each other, but at the end of the day, it's about selling your books, and it's about hoping that somebody buys your book instead of somebody else's, because they only have so much money in their pocket to spend every month. Right? They're competitors. They all forget that they're competing against each other. And then when the egos get in the way, they all take it personally, which causes all this drama and just craziness. And that's what really slaughtered Comicsgate, outside of Ethan. Like, Ethan played a good part, but the B level and the slums of Comicsgate, oh God, especially the slums. And that wasn't even about trying to get backers. That was all just about clout. Well, hey, Snugs, how are you tonight? Yeah. But I thought Ben's perspective was pretty interesting. I did see a bit on Twitter about how Ben lied in court. He gave testimony, and that's not what happened. His brother was deposed. Remember, this is all Richard Meyer walked away with the settlement in 2020, right? I think Jawbreakers, all that went down. The lawsuit was filed in 2019. Oh, man, he lied. Well, even if he did, and even if a court found that he did, it specifically is not tortoise interference, because one of the pillars of tortious interference is losing money. Meyer never lost money. Meyer made a lot more money than he ever would have made with AP. And what was also curious is about the time that all that was popping off, right? The AP turning down Meyer was AP artists, people that worked with Antarctic Press, were getting pushed out of Comicsgate. You had the Rags guys, you had Tim and Mark, because they publish under Antarctic Press. I want to say there was somebody else too. I'm a little fuzzy, but everybody associated with AP kind of got pushed out of CG. Nobody at the time was telling you that Richard C. Meyer's fulfillment in all of the production of his book was being handled by Dynamite. Nobody told you that everything that Ethan was producing with CF1 was being handled by Dynamite. Even his Indiegogo account. So yeah, there was a lot of shenanigans happening back then. And I kind of, when it happened, I really didn't blame Ben's brother for deciding, and he's the one that was deposed, not Ben. Ben had nothing to do with that. To not publish the book. There was so much swirling around it, and Mark Waid didn't even have to do anything. Like, he didn't even have to talk to them. Pressure was just being put on them from all sorts of different sides. And I felt kind of bad for him at the time. Yep. Dynamite versus Antarctic was the first hidden fight in Comicsgate. It's really dirty stuff. Really dirty. Yeah. Exactly. Did you know that Don and look how many people actually came from Dynamite too, right? Kyle Ritter, and then Don Chin eventually came over. There were a few other people that were working at Dynamite that ended up in Comicsgate. But I think Kyle Ritter was dumped on Ethan because of the sex pesty stuff. But that's just my personal opinion. I could be right. I could be wrong. I don't know. So, before I get into the grift thing, bruh, this is so bad. Look how awful that design is. And yeah, I'm going to be critical. And part of the reason I'm going to be going over this Dark Gift video is just the fucking production is so bad. I watched it. You have to see what I saw. There's a video at this, so he's got the opening credit thing at the beginning of his video, right? And there's a video for this book. And granted, I skimmed through it kind of fast because I didn't want to have to fucking watch it or listen to the really bad music in the intro of the Dark Griff video. But I didn't see anything anywhere that told me, I'm not saying, okay, showed me whose book it actually is. I have no idea who that other imprint is. And all of it is bad. There is nothing good about this logo. Not the fonts, not the really difficult to read Bad Moon. You got to think about just glance. If somebody just glances at something, how does it look? Griff's imprint has always been a mess, but this other one, that's just awful. Just awful. And I guess since Liam is tangentially part of the next video, I have to play this. I am obligated. Somebody later on tonight will probably be e-fapping fucking Liam. It'll probably be Risey. You know, that seems to be his new job. Right?
What's up, peeps? Anthony here, Dark Gift Comics.
I must say I appreciate the filters and the fact that for once he's not streaming in the fucking dark.
I don't even know why I'm doing this, but I just feel like it needs to be said.
Does it? Does it really need to be said? Huh? Because I gotta tell you, there's a lot I don't say. There just is. And yes, get a proper fucking shirt. I know it's the summer. Right? Like, I still wear a goddamn bra to work. Even though it's like feels like 106 outside. The least you can do is wear a real shirt. Thank you, Snugs.
All right, I'm trying. I am trying, but you know, I'm still me. And I'm not going to let people take credit for things that I do or lie about me. So apparently, somebody's trying to take credit for the slums. And I don't think that's fair to myself, Sinatra, or even though we're not getting along, even well-read. So we're gonna take a look at this. I gotta put my headphones on for this, I just realized. Yeah, so I guess let's do this.
I left that part in there because of how incredibly long it was. Now, keep in mind, this is an edited video on his channel. He couldn't get rid of any of the dead spots. He couldn't get rid of the part where he's talking to himself about his fucking headphones. And then he gives us this. This. What the fuck is this? He's cut off his entire forehead. Well, at least half of it. And it looks really ridiculous. Production values, Anthony. You're running a business that's about visuals, and your visuals fucking suck, bruh. They suck. And no, what was it? Was that Amit? I'm pretty sure it was Amit that made some... I hate to disappoint you, Amit, but they do not sag yet. Anyway. Yeah, but look at those visuals, man. And he wants to do something involved in visual production? Fuck me. Because this is just awful. Just fucking awful. Why is it on his head?
They're pursuing conflict, and they're creating it, whether they believe it or not. Like, the slums are a mistake. They are my biggest fucking mistake and my biggest regret. Okay? I regret ever platforming these people because it turned them into their own shows and their own people. And now, 6 or 7 years later, nearly their whole identity is built upon trying to do damage to me. They got nothing else.
So, Liam, don't worry about the slums being your biggest mistake, because you have nothing to do with the slums.
He didn't. Of course he didn't. By the time the slums came around, Liam's channel was already gone. Now, granted, Liam gave us the great blood sports of early CG over on his Conquest Comics channel. I believe it was that one. He had gotten a hit with a copyright strike and couldn't stream for a while, and it totally killed the momentum on his channel. Oz started streaming. Everybody remember Oz started streaming? Some people call Oz the father of the slums, but I don't think so. He didn't do anything. Oz was the master at sitting back, sometime leaving for hours on end, or just getting so incredibly high and just let everybody talk. Oz didn't run a show. He had, I don't know, he invited people into his living room, and sometimes he left for like a 2-hour shit. That's what Oz did. It was more like a trip to the outback, you know. Going on walkabout was Oz's channel. So, but it definitely was not Liam.
I don't know, I can't speak for Well-Read or Finatra, but for myself, I never went on your channel till the slums were already a thing. You did not platform me, you did not start the slums. The slums started as a meme in 2021 and kind of picked up a little steam in 2022, and with the hard work of myself, Finatra, and Well-Read, was able to become, for a short time, a very cool space and network of other channels involving John Dillard, Alasmat, trying to think who else, Piper at one point, Matt Barr, and I know he doesn't like when I say this, but Risey's got a spot right here for me down in the slums. And it had a good run. But don't worry your pretty little ginger head off, Liam, because the slums is not your mistake. The slums has nothing to do with you. It never did. And now that it's pretty much been retired by everybody, it never will.
You can't move out of the slums in Comicsgate. They follow you around. Follow you the fuck around. Like the dirt cloud around Pigpen on the Peanuts cartoon. There's no getting out of the slums. But to clear up a few things, the name comic CG Slums was coined by Mr. Dongs. And yes, it became a meme. It was brought to video life mostly by Smugpug when he did his video, his little Comicsgate Slums documentary about the CG assassin, the one who destroyed Leroy. We see you, well read. And then they took the name Grift, well read, did a live stream introducing the CG Slumlords, where they talked about how they were going to gatekeep Comicsgate because people were going to have to come through the slums to get to the kings. Oh, God, it was a total fucking joke. But you know who really created the slums? And this is going to come out of left field, people. I know you're going to think I'm fucking crazy. Testify. He was too retarded for war campaign, but he managed to put together the fucking CG slums. Everybody Grift mentioned there? Piper, Dillard, Alasmat was, most of the people that came together because they fucking hated Testify. But what had happened, and this is how insidiously beautiful Testify's plan was, and I will admit that it worked. He took everybody in his little Etsy crew, and he'd show up on your panel because they all had fucking call-in shows. So it'd be you. You'd be having your stream, and the next thing you know, you got Testify. Then the next thing you know, you got George, and then you got maybe Wiggle, and then you got Alasmat. And Testify turned every single low-end gutter show in Comicsgate into the trash compactor show. Every single fucking one. And the people that ended up, and that's what connected all of those different shows together initially, was the fucking Etsy boys and Testify showing up and turning your stream into his goddamn show. And then everybody gets fucking, they're like, oh, snap. Maybe they started listening to me. I don't know. But finally, they figure it out because Testify, all he does is ferment drama. And he just gets everybody fighting with everybody else. That was the CG Slums. And that's why it was called the CG Slums. It was just the place where everybody was fighting with everybody else. You were like the lowest spot on the ladder, the one getting all the scraps. And the one that put the pit of hell of Comicsgate together was fucking Testify HD. But it's true, George. It is so fucking true. Yeah. Yes. It wasn't, whatever it is that Griff decided that he was in charge of, that he was putting together in the slums, was something that was already there. It was a network of people put together who all defended themselves against Randall. Every single one of them. They'd stream together talking about how fucking awful Randall was. That was the CG Slums. The only good show in the CG Slums was well-read reviews. And that kind of went to shit after he turned, after the review was over and it became a panel show. Because those early ones all had Testify. Let me tell you, the early ones all had fucking Testify on them. Oh my God, that song was so bad. So bad. But that's the history of the CG Slums. And now Dark Gift wants to try to gentrify it. Like, we're moving out of the slums. Yeah, we're going to find this nice little middle-class neighborhood here set up with new CG. We're going to promote stuff. We're going to be sitting on streams where all it is fucking drama again. We're going to be we're going to be not picking fights with people because we got to sit on the fucking fence while we stick our finger in the air and see which way the wind is blowing. We're going to run the supposed business that every creator who pays him could fucking do for themselves. Because apparently putting out 200 packages is too much, and he'd have to hire RJ, because he just doesn't have a free 6 hours on a weekend to box shit up. Right? Can't even get out his own goddamn book. But he takes money from people to do stuff that they could do on a fucking weekend. And promote what? Honest to God. Nothing a grift has promoted. There's been no fucking growth in that department for years. Because he ruins any kind of promotional network with streams with fucking Jay Dalla and Ein and Prime and just a bunch of fucktards who don't even read comic books anymore. Who certainly aren't back in comic books. Griff's book's how many years late? No fucking excuses anymore, Anthony. So yeah, he was on CG Church again today. Like that ain't some sort of drama show? Give me a fucking break. I couldn't listen to him. They were complaining about that guy on Twitter, Enlightened Fan. I guess he sparked off a whole segment on the show. I have no idea how it lasted. How long it lasted, the segment itself, but man, I muted that dude a long fucking time ago. He's the Rippaverse, and all he does is repeat the same talking points over and over and over again. It's horrible. So yeah, but just a fucking drama show. Promotional networks, my fucking ass. Unbelievable. Which leaves us with our final video for the evening. And it's Anna from the Jack Show, which she hosted this week. And oh my Lord, people. Oh my Lord. Oh, before this gets started, thanks again to Geeky Borders for pointing me in this direction.
Go, John. Go. Boom.
Go, John.
Woo!
Guys,
John.
great night
Yeah.
tonight. Huge night tonight with Graham Nolan. Over $100,000 raised. We're going to get 25 jumping jacks out of Anna here. Sadly,
Well, I
we won't
thought it
be
was
seeing her
10.
piss her pants doing it. It would have been hilarious. We would have talked about it for years to
I
come.
just feel like everything.
Now remember, John Malin's like the moral center of CG, who's just like so morally grounded. Ethan just can't fucking believe it.
Yeah. When I could do better
Real.
right now. Too. Everything
all
you're
right.
saying, I could do
We can
better.
hear you, Ethan.
I thought I was bringing the energy on that.
Here's Johnny.
I was being a good bro for her. I was like, won't you not jump when you need to pee?
You ruined everything, Shady, what you did.
Nobody
Not the
needs
usual.
to see that.
That's
The entire point is to make her pee herself, Shane. I think you missed that
I
somehow.
thought it's the
Shane, if she could pee
They
herself,
need
it'd be
to
funny. It'd be
explain
good YouTube, but okay, that's no problem. We care
Yeah.
about Anna. We don't want Anna to embarrass herself. That
Plus,
would be
you know,
terrible.
after a pregnancy, women do suffer a little incontinence, so there's a
What
good
does that
chance she
even
would.
mean?
What does that even mean, she says? What is incontinence? It's like that time she didn't know who fucking Nancy Pelosi was when she lives in California.
Means you wet yourself, Anna.
What does
you're leaking.
incontinence mean?
You're leaking
what-
it.
What? What?
Shane wanted you to piss your pants. He said it.
No. Oh my God. Well, Shane, I unfortunately was forced into a C-section, so I don't have peen problems. I guess, which is
Yeah,
Yes.
Shane.
Yes,
No.
Shane. Why you even brought that up is fucking beyond
Yeah.
me.
No, but you know
Just
what's funny?
fucking
My mom.
degenerate, Shane.
Well, no. So my mom said that like once you have a baby, like every time you like laugh or sneeze, you pee a little bit, and so she had surgery to correct
Yeah.
that. And then the dumbass doctor cut her artery, and she almost died. So now she had all this like
Fine.
problems before, and now she has even more problems, and she's just like "Rah, rah, 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 rah," about having babies, and she's like, "You're so lucky you had to have a C-section the first time. All babies should be born C-section." And I was like, I don't want a C-section. It's awful.
Her mother almost died from a medical mishap, and she's laughing as she tells the story. What a horrible fucking little troll. Seriously. What a troll. She's awful.
Be patient.
1-year-old.
I'll
and then
bet you
I-
$100 right now your second baby's gonna be C-section. They're gonna no way they're gonna let you do natural birth.
No,
after.
she said it's called a VBAC or something, and
We'll
so
take
she
the
said,
$100. Take the bet then.
all right, $100, Cecil.
There we
Done. It's official.
All right.
Good as a
Wait.
handshake right there.
Hold on, don't did Ethan ever give you the money back since you bet it was a girl?
go. I believe
Okay.
so.
Yeah, I did. Shane
Good.
Davis is like C-section. Why don't you suck my D-section? And Shane, you should
Well,
not have
Shane,
said that to
why
me
would
in
you
private.
say that,
It's
Shane?
disgusting.
Disgusting.
Disgusting. It's a mother. right there.
Why
He
are
doesn't
we
have
put
any
up with
limits. There's zero limits on this
I'm
guy.
just
Married-
sitting here, guys. I'm not doing shit.
Married
Okay, if you
woman.
say
I'm just
so.
along for the ride. I didn't say that.
Ass to ass.
Look, I'm completely innocent.
Look at the
Ethan just having to read that out loud, one, because he wanted to say something nasty about freaking Anna, and two, just so we can highlight Shane's weird fucking degeneracy shit is so on point.
Cecil
Disappointed.
says married woman, Shane. Sounds like future single mom to me. Let's go!
All right, we got jumping jacks in. We got jumping
Oh,
jacks.
God damn it, all right.
Full screen.
It's exciting.
Yes, yes, jumping jacks. We get jumping jacks now. All of these guys sitting here knowing she's drunk off her motherfucking ass. And they get her to agree.
Let's go. And we need
I would
everything
like
on
to
camera. We need
apologize.
boobies on camera.
Here, I'm in my pajamas.
Are you nude?
Nice. Even
No,
better.
I'm
Are you
not
naked?
naked.
You
I
are.
have a shirt- I have a shirt on, but I was not prepared to show my legs, so I do
We
have
need
pajamas
TNA on camera. Let's go. TNA.
how
No.
TNA.
how secure is that top? I feel like if you work it, you can get
Shut
those
up,
things
Cecil. Just shut up. Let her go.
All right,
All
go
You
right.
ahead.
guys all trying to protect her. Come on.
Well,
much
hold on.
better
Let
than
me
Rainey,
let
I
me
swear to
fix my
God.
camera. Let me
Grown.
zoom out. Let me get a good angle so I don't
She's
look
a grown
too bad.
woman.
Team
that's
player
good.
is the queen.
That's because Graham is my friend and he likes Star Trek.
Yeah.
Team player, Anna.
God,
Hold
Rainey
on.
sucks.
Imagine, after all this time, Rini sucks because Rini wouldn't jiggle her fucking titties on camera on command for Comicsgate. What the fuck?
Oh my god, my camera's messing. I'm trying to get it to.
Will you hurry up so we can objectify you already?
I'm trying to be a team
Got all
player
night.
so you can see.
Anna, hurry up. It's starting to go down.
Oh my god.
Go
Hey,
big
full screen,
full
full screen,
screen.
full screen.
No,
No,
no.
Full
Full
screen,
screener doesn't
doesn't
count. Full screener doesn't count. You should try pulling
Oh
a
my
fast
god,
one.
I'm sorry, I'm drunk. All right, I would just like to apologize. I was trying to put all the eyes.
Don't hide behind all your banners. Turn your camera.
Oh, she is hiding behind the banners. I didn't even realize that.
Dude,
I got her figured
She's
out.
not that smart. She doesn't know where they are.
My banner. Okay, hold on. Let me fix it. I was trying to put all the eyes up. Let me get it off the screen. There.
Let's see
Is
your
it gone?
dirty office.
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah,
It's not. I had all
Books. Look at all the books on the ground. Look at this.
Jesus.
Like a hoarder.
John, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, look at that.
No, the other side, Anna.
Oh, the book. Oh,
Yeah.
that's
It all
because
looks
I'm-
good. Don't worry about it.
trying
Nana.
to-
Hold
Yeah,
on, Anna. Anna can get one of those books off that bottom shelf.
Real quick here, Rockaho. Not only did he agree to go on with these losers, this pantomime right here is all about getting Nolan to 100K, dragging his campaign across the six figures young lady line.
For me,
It's
please.
all good,
Oh my
Anna. Don't
God.
listen to John. Just
Did
take your
you
money
see
maker.
what,
Let's go.
Anna, did you see what Shane just wrote in the chat? He said, less lip flapping, more tit flapping. That
Yeah.
Shane.
All right, we need
You know what?
10 good ones. 10 good ones.
Hold on. Let me.
Like you mean it.
Shane.
Look at all
Hold
her
on, let me
tattoos,
unzip.
nasty tattoos that look like big, nasty moles.
Shut
on the
up,
side.
John.
No, my tattoo is fine.
Nothing cool
What
about
the
that.
hell is that?
Those are her nasty tattoos.
2, 3,
3.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Atta
You're
girl.
welcome.
Very good.
Ta-da.
I figured since I was showing the lead up, I might as well give you the happy ending, so to speak. Jasper Plan 9. Yeah. Drunk off her motherfucking ass. And the only reason they did that was because they didn't know that whatever that top is that she's wearing was more like a little fucking sports bra. And that her tits weren't going to go anywhere. She probably didn't even think about it either. She was in her goddamn pajamas. She wouldn't have said yes if she was thinking about it. But those guys, she's sitting there for I don't know how long before this all goes down. And her hair's covering the shoulders. The top is kind of this neutral color. Really hard to tell what it really looks like. Yeah. They thought those silicone titties were going to be bouncing all over the place. I mean, they weren't going to go very far. But they certainly thought they would. And it was just so gross. All of it was just so gross. Lots of shit over the weekend has just been so gross. Yeah. I caught a bit of Finstream this morning. And can I just say, people, that Katie, honey, I get that you're angry at people, and I get that you're lashing out, and I guess that you're a dipshit, and I know you think that this is going to help you and shit, but you got to stop. You got to stop claiming that everybody is attacking your family when they're not. And if you go after someone personally and go after their family first, then you're kind of fucked with whatever response that you get. And secondly, isn't it time for you goddamn people to stop calling her a pedophile? Why? Why are you purposely getting the fetish all fucking wrong? It's all goddamn backwards. She wants to be the one being ravished. She doesn't want to be ravishing small children. Fuck. At least get your fetishes correct. But calling someone who's not a pedophile is kind of fucking stupid. To all of you. Just saying. It's a good bit of advice. Because you call the wrong person a pedophile, and some of you should know from personal experience, Dean, that, you get sued. You get sued. And that's it. That's the end of my that's all I got for tonight, man. That's it. My entire stream, all I'm prepared for, nothing else I really want to talk about. But God. Oh, Tug's claiming he's being sued again, but apparently all it was someone saying they could sue him in the comment section of a video. They're still suing legally, Leslie. Nothing's happened on that front. H3H3, apparently Frogan's attorney got in touch with Ethan's attorney. They cut some sort of deal. Frogan now has some incredible amount of 60 days, or it's maybe even longer, I think till October or something, to answer. Johnny Somali's no longer living with his friend Hank, who did an interview where he talked about being committed to mental hospitals. It was very disturbing. But he's gone missing. Hopefully he registers with the court and lets them know where he's living. I mean, he can't leave South Korea, but he's no longer living at Hank's. So as soon as that trial starts, I'll cover it and I'll let you guys know what happened. He's still piling on more and more charges, and he'll be in jail, a South Korean prison for probably at least 5 years, maybe. So that's it. Asmongold's going to be taking a few months off. His dad's got cancer. Hassan is mad about Kick because people are leaving Twitch and going to Kick, and Kick wouldn't give him a contract. I know. All these weird little things I picked up over the week that are just now spilling forth that should have happened at the beginning of the stream. Yeah. But you all have a great night. Yeah, Asmongold's father apparently has been diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. So he will be taking some time off. And everybody have a lovely week. Wish you all the best. Have fun out there. If you can't be good, be careful. And thanks for coming in and stopping by and participating. If you could hit the like or the subscribe, there's this new YouTube algorithm shit happening. Join the Discord. The link is in the description. And I'll see you next week.